Hi knitters or prospective knitters, welcome to the channel. I'm Jana with Purl Together and I would really love to teach you how to knit. Now if you already know how to knit, share this video with your friends so that you can have knitter friends and then you can knit together, because knitting together is a fantastic way to build community and just be able to chat, even if it's over Zoom during this time. Knitting over Zoom is a lot of fun and it's a good way to spend your evening knitting with friends. So if you're already a knitter, share this with someone who you know might want to learn to knit. And if you want to be a knitter, let's get started with the supplies and the things you're gonna need to have. So the first thing I would suggest you do is push the like and subscribe button. You'll be notified whenever I put out a new Learn to Knit video. So you're going to want to do that, and then also be reassured that I'll be here with you every step of the way. We're going to take this really slow, like you've never touched knitting needles or yarn before. So we're going to go really slow, like sloth slow. Because you can do this. It's really just one stitch at a time. And people get overwhelmed and discouraged and they feel like it's a big, huge undertaking. Really, it's not. It's one stitch at a time. And as long as you remember that and you learn to just view it that way, as one stitch at a time, whether you're knitting or unknitting to find a mistake or to fix things, it really is a doable process. So we're going to start next week. Today is Thursday. We're going to start, the first video will come out next Tuesday. And then we'll have videos weekly, Learn to Knit videos every Tuesday for the next little while. Not sure how many there'll be yet. We'll see how it goes and how far we get with each video, how many questions there are. If I need to backtrack a little bit to answer questions for people, then totally I will do that. So let's talk about answering questions. If you have questions for me, you can always drop them in the comments below. But I would also encourage you to join the Facebook and or Ravelry group, whatever works best for you. So what we're gonna do first is learn to knit a really super basic cotton dishcloth or washcloth. The reason I like to start with that is because back in the day, people used to learn to knit by doing a scarf. A scarf is daunting. It's like 5 feet long. It's too much and it's boring, right? We don't need to do that. We're gonna knit a little square dishcloth or washcloth. You can do a little facial one, or you can use it in your kitchen. I can always use them in my kitchen. They're super functional, really utilitarian, and a great way to learn because you can change colors if you want, and it's not too big of a project that you get bored with it, but it's enough to nail down the fundamentals. So, having said that, the yarn I would suggest that you find is this super basic Sugar and Cream. It's a cotton yarn. I'll put a link down below. If you don't have a big box store or a local yarn shop that might carry this, you can get it off Amazon. Support your local businesses first if you're able to. But one of these is like $6. So we're not going to start off with like snobby fancy schmancy yarn like a lot of this is, but you know, I've been building my stash for a long time. So it's not going to be a great huge investment for you to just get started and see if you like it. So this is called Sugar and Cream. I know that there's another version called Peaches and Cream. That might be a regional thing depending on where you live. But it's made by a company called Lily. And again, I'll put an Amazon link down below if you want to order online and have it delivered. The other thing I would suggest is either double point needles. These are just not very expensive bamboo, Clover, double point needles. These are a size 6, which is let's see, a US size 6 is a 4mm. If you have other needles laying around maybe from your grandma or your mother or an auntie or something like that, needles that are old school like this will work just fine too. These are old aluminum needles that are Boye, B-O-Y-E, or Bates. This is a size 6. I think these were my grandmother's, honestly. These will work just fine too. Now listen, if you have a US 5 or a 7 or somewhere nearby, that's fine. Use that. We're not going to be super picky. It's a dishcloth. And I just want you to get the hang of it and see if you like it. If you love knitting and it turns out to be your absolute passionate thing like it is for me, then we'll talk about upgrading needles and getting a little more specific. But for this series, I just want you to be confident in trying it out and learning the fundamentals. And we'll get down, we'll get to the nitpicky stuff later. Okay, so straight needles like this, either bamboo, wood, aluminum, whatever you have, in a 5, 6, or 7 will be great. Worsted weight cotton yarn for a dishcloth, that's all you need. And one of these balls, by the way, will probably knit like 3 or 4 dishcloths, depending on the size that you make. or double points, metal, bamboo, whatever you can find is great. Again, I'll put links down below if you need to order online. I'll help you out with that. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is knit a dishcloth, and it's gonna be super simple, back and forth, just to get down the tension and how to hold the yarn and how to make a knit stitch. So join me next week on Tuesday the 30th for the first in the series of Learn to Knit with me.